So hello flying fans, welcome back to the Flight Line, and today I'm back in the Cessna 172, no, the Cessna 152, for our first video here based at Wycombe Air Park, and we're going to do today just some circuit and taxiing practice here, as I'm not really very used to the airport here, so I thought it'd be a good way to start, would be to taxi out, do a few circuits, get to know the different runways. So currently it's 304, 2.8 knots at 304 for the wind, so that's great. It's not really negligible. So we're gonna taxi out, take off from probably from runway 24, and have a go at that. So I'll get the aircraft started up, and we can go from there. So avionics are off, carb heat is off, beacon is on, throttle little bit, mixture fully rich, and we'll do the primer, 3 primes, brakes are set, oh yeah, it's there, prop clear, starting prop clear, master on. There we go, and let's start her up. You know what, again, because I'm not doing all of the early checks, I'm missing that every time. There we go. Set 1000 RPM. So, prop. So we've started it up, we set 1000 RPM, oil pressure. Oil pressure's coming up, nice. Lights as required, so we'll have taxi light. We'll just pop our trim up for takeoff. Nav lights as it's getting towards the end of the day. Alternator on. Mixture is required, so prior to taxi, seat belts and harnesses are locked and secure. Flaps are up. Avionics are set, transponder standby, so let's pop the transponder to standby, and 7000 is set. We've got the ATIS, and the ATIS says QNH of, let me just double check, we've got 1016, but we're going to just set down, because this was we're doing circuits, I'm just going to wind this down to QFE to 0. There we go. Altimeter set, radio we don't have. Why are the radios not on? That's interesting. The radios haven't come on. There's no other control for the radio. Ah, no, they are off. There we go, that's because I'm using the patch. So they're off, so I'm gonna pop the transponder on now, 7000. We don't need to worry about radios today because we're not on VATSIM or anything like that. And we'll test the brakes and the turn coordinators and everything, so let's head out towards the runway and we can get started. Thanks very much, Mr. Pushback, but we won't be requiring your services today. There's very little clearance here on this ramp for anything. So I'm just going to stop here because I can and do the run up checks. So up to 1700 RPM. And we'll start with the magneto, so left, small drop, comes back, small drop, comes back, carb heat, drop and back, mixture full forward and idling test. Flaps 10. Okay, idling smoothly. So we're going to take off and we're going to fly around the circuit for 24, runway 24. Let's go. We'll just give an obligatory call as we would. Wycombe traffic. This is Golf November Romeo Fox. No, Wycombe traffic. This is Golf Foxtrot November Romeo Hotel. Taxi for takeoff, runway 24. Okay, so landing lights on. And we'll line up for 2-4, and it's going to be challenging with this sun. Okay, it's ready to go. Take off. We've got a little turn to the left just to establish ourselves on the pattern, which is just to avoid the village on the right. Be able to see that village down there. Not quite level with it yet, but basically there's a lot of areas here that we need to establish ourselves clear of. So again, we're now going to turn to go round another built up area. So flaps up. So we're just climbing to 1,000 feet on the pattern on the QFE, which is of course 1,500 feet QNH. The airport should be directly behind us here. Can't really see it, but it's there. Now we're flying our downwind leg, keeping to the right of these villages here. So there's the airport just over there. Trying to be as accurate as possible. I'm just referencing my Sky Demon aircraft there. We're going abeam the airport now on the downwind. Got the flaps up, haven't we? Now we're going to descend now to 500 feet and put the flaps down. Flaps 10. Flying downwind. Sorry, flying base, turning base. And the airport is over there. 500 feet. Flaps full. We have the airport and the runway in sight, and it's very difficult to see, but we've got it. We're a bit high. Nose wheel is down, and we're going again, flaps up. Flaps up. Climbing to 1,000 feet. So we're a little more on the pattern this time. Probably be a little bit easier to do this once we've got better conditions where we can see what we're doing. Turning again. A little bumpy here. Seems like it's very windy up here, but let's descend down a bit. Descending down to 500 feet. Flaps 10. Turning. Down to 500 feet. Flaps down. Turning final. There's the runway. speed down. Should be no wind pushing us off course here. According to the wind, there's nothing. And nose wheel is down, full power, flaps up, and this time we're going to do a left hand circuit because there is a left hand circuit marked on the map as well. And we're up. It's a much tighter circuit, a left hand circuit. Flaps up, and left hand turn, bit early there with our left hand turn. There we go. Flaps are up, climbing to 1,000 feet. I'm just going to look for any visual reference points that I can use here. So there's the airport. It's a much tighter turn, much tighter pattern. So going this side of, is that a railway line? Basically trying to avoid overflying the city, town. Okay, descending to 500 feet. Flaps 10. And turning left. .500 feet, flaps all the way down. And turn to base, turn to final rather. 240. Massively off course. Too low. Got too low there. I am on course, I can see. Oh no, I'm not on course at all. Nose wheels down on the centre line. Very good. So there we go. I think I probably still need to practice a little bit, particularly with that tighter circuit. Oh, there's a big bump here. This is supposed to be the taxiway back. Doesn't really look like a taxiway. A lot of big bump looking things. It's very bumpy looking. I'm guessing it's over here. You can see what looks like a line. Flaps up. Yeah, I can see where the taxiway probably should be here. There's also grass runways here as well. I'm not sure how much those are in use. But this is the taxiway anyway. Turn our landing light off. Transponder off, radio's off. And there we go again with that lovely zooming. I will say this for the 152, it does taxi nicely. Flight Simulator. And I'll say this for Wycombe Air Park. There's not a lot of clearance on these taxiways. I'm following the yellow line, but I reckon I'm crashing into a lot of this stuff half the time. See how we did there. Ah, not too bad. We were kind of on it. Kind of on our spot. I might just have a little taxi around. Should we have a little taxi around and see what it looks like while we've got the video rolling? So you can taxi right up to this end, so we could have taxied right up to here. Sorry, I'm about to decapitate the man. See what I mean by I'm just going to go around here. They've definitely done a very good job with this scenery. I think it looks fabulous. I'm going to just taxi round to the fuel depot here as well and see how if that's operating correctly. I'm assuming it is operable. So you can taxi all the way round behind it to get fuel. I'm assuming these are helicopter positions here on the grass. So if we taxi around to here and then we jump back inside, do we get the I suppose we can just get the fuel thing at any time anyway. So yeah, we don't need to actually come to the fuel thing. Let's taxi back to a parking spot. Welcome to Wycombe Air Park, it says. Not bad. I'm in the circle. Very good. Well, with that, I think we'll call it quits for this video. Thank you very much for joining me on this little bimble around Wycombe Air Park, and I'll see you again soon here on the flight line.